Hey everyone, welcome back to Cross Examinations. Today we are diving into practical Christian living for young adults. We're tackling a topic that's super relevant if you're heading to or already in college: how to stay faithful in college. College is an amazing time of growth, new friends, and independence, but let's be real, it can also be a battlefield for your faith. Professors might even question the Bible's validity, friends could challenge your beliefs, and temptations are everywhere. But here's the good news: you don't have to rely on this just subjective feelings or blind faith. Your faith can be rooted in objective truth backed by solid evidence from apologetics. Apologetics is basically the is basically the defense of Christian living, Christian faith using reason and evidence. It's not arguing for the sake of it, but about showing why Christianity makes sense intellectually. And at the core of that is understanding that the Bible isn't just a collection of nice stories, it's trustworthy historically and prophetically. Today, we'll build on that foundation and give you practical tips to stay strong. Grab a notebook and let's jump in. Sorry, I had help with Grok writing the script. First of all, why is college such a tough spot for faith? This applies to high school too, by the way. I'm a high school leader, have been for a long time now. But you're exposed to a ton of new ideas. Maybe a philosophy class pushes relativism, truth is whatever you feel it is, or a science lecture dismisses miracles as myths. Peers might mock Christianity as outdated. According to surveys, about 70%, this is sad, of young Christians who grew up in church disengage from faith during college years. But it doesn't have to be you. The key is shifting from, I believe because I was raised that way, to I believe because it's true. Let's start with the historical reliability of the Bible. Skeptics often say, I'm going to call them skinics. I'm going to call them cynics because they're not really skeptics. I'm sorry. The Bible's been copied so many times. It's like a game of telephone full of errors. But the evidence says otherwise. The New Testament alone has over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, plus thousands more in other languages. Compare that to other ancient works. Homer's Iliad has about 643 manuscripts, and Plato's writings have just 7. Yet no one questions their reliability. The earliest New Testament fragments date back to within 100 years of the originals. Actually, there's one that's like 40 years. But anyways, while for most ancient texts, it's centuries later. Textual critics, experts who compare these copies, are certain about 99.5% of the biblical text, with limited variations, mostly minor spelling differences, spelling, syntax, nothing that changes any doctrines, like at all. And no, it's not just the New Testament. Archaeology backs up the Old Testament too. Discoveries like the Dead Sea Scrolls from the 1940s confirmed that the text we have today match the ones from over 2,000 years ago. There was a 1,000-year gap before the Dead Sea Scrolls from the earliest extant manuscripts to when we found the Dead Sea Scrolls. It shut down a bunch of questions about the reliability of the scriptures. Historical figures mentioned in the Bible like Pontius Pilate or King David have been verified through inscriptions and records. This isn't fairy tale stuff. It's history you can trust. Now let's talk about prophecy. This is where it gets mind-blowing. The Bible contains hundreds of predictions written centuries before they happened, proving it's thousands, proving it's not just human words, but divinely inspired. There are about 2,500 prophecies in the Bible. See, it's a script. With around 2,000 already fulfilled accurately. Take the prophecies about Jesus, the Messiah. Over 300 Old Testament prophecies point to him, and he fulfilled the ones that applied to his first coming. It says he fulfilled them all, but that's not accurate. For example, Micah 5:2, written around 700 BC, says the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. Jesus was. Isaiah 7:14 from the 8th century BC predicts a virgin birth fulfilled in Mary and Jesus. Psalm 22, written by David 1,000 years before Christ, describes the crucifixion in detail. They pierced my hands and my feet. They divide my garments among them. Jesus' death matched this exactly, down to the soldiers casting lots for his clothes. And Isaiah 53 paints a picture of a suffering servant who bears our sins. Historians confirm this was fulfilled in Jesus' crucifixion. Even bigger, the book of Daniel predicted the rise and fall of empires, Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome, with eerie accuracy centuries in advance. These aren't vague horoscopes like Nostradamus. They're specific, verifiable events. The odds of this happening by chance, astronomically low, as Grok would say. This shows the Bible is objective truth, not subjective opinion. So how do you apply this in college? Here are 5 practical steps grounded in apologetics. These are actually pretty good. Build your foundation. Dive deep. And I'm trying to pressure this. I've been in high school and junior high ministry for this is my 11th year. I've raised 5 kids all the way through teenagehood. I mean, my youngest is a teenager. So high school and college age, this is my whole range of children. And I've always tried to press in on apologetics. So this is very important. Dive into apologetic resources. Read books like The Case for Christ, great one, Lee Strobel, and Evidence That Demands a Verdict, another great one, by Josh McDowell. Watch videos from channels like Apologetics Press or Reasonable Faith. I would also suggest Cliff Connectley on Give Me an Answer. I think that's the name of his channel. I think that's what it's called. Great stuff. Know why you believe. That is the important. Don't just believe because your parents told you to. Find out why your faith is. Look, your parents might just be running the Christian circles, right? Your parents might not be saved. Jesus doesn't have any grandchildren. God doesn't have any grandchildren, right? So, yeah, this is foundational stuff. Join a community. Number 2, don't go solo. Find a campus ministry like CRU, InterVarsity, or a local church college group. Surround yourself with believers who can discuss these evidences and pray with you. Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron. Accountability keeps your faith sharp. Engage thoughtfully when challenges come. Don't hide. Respond with grace and evidence. If a professor questions the Bible's history, share about the manuscripts. If a friend doubts prophecy, point to Jesus' fulfillments. 1 Peter 3:15 urges us to always be prepared to give an answer, but do it respectfully. And also, you don't always have to have an answer right then and there. There's an answer for everything. The Bible is trustworthy, and there is an answer for everything. You have to trust in that. And when someone approaches you with something and you don't have the answer, don't run away and start doubting your faith. Doubt their claim and then go do the research. Grok AI makes this so easy now. Go do the research. Whatever claim they make, just go dig down to the root of that claim, and you'll discover time after time after time that there's always an answer, and it's always rational, it's always reasonable, it's always logical, and the most they have to stand on is a bunch of assumptions and conjectures. And when you're going from, hey, this book tells is written, authored from outside of time and space, to, well, I have a theory. What are you going to rely on? Time and space? Authorship? I have a theory. Well, actually, it's not my theory. It's somebody else's theory. But I built on that theory with another theory. And then someone else built on that theory with another theory. And we now have so many theories that clearly your prophetic writings from outside of time and space can't stand up to our theories. All right, number 4, daily devotion with a twist. Make Bible study part of your routine, but include apologetics. Use apps like YouVersion or Bible Gateway to cross-reference prophecies. Pray for wisdom to see God's truth in your classes. And again, do the other resources. This stuff needs to be learned. You're going to college, you're going to school to learn subjects. The first most important subject you should learn is the Bible and why it's trustworthy, because it can guide you through your entire life, not just through your college processes. And trust me, I was raised agnostic. Having God in your life is far superior. And you will make far fewer mistakes that you will regret for the rest of your life. And 5, guard your heart. College has temptations, parties, relationships. They can pull you away. Remember, faithfulness isn't just intellectual, it is holistic. Set boundaries based on Scripture's objective standards, like Ephesians 5's call to walk in love and purity. Wrapping this up, staying faithful in college isn't about willpower alone. It's about anchoring in the objective truth of a historically and prophetically reliable Bible. Apologetics gives you the tools to stand firm. If this resonated, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical faith tips, and comment below. What is your biggest college faith challenge? I'd love to hear and maybe cover it next. Thanks for watching. Go out and live boldly for Christ.